All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Volatility has entered the chat, right? And we're seeing lots of volatility in the market today. We went from making new all-time highs to about a 1.5% intraday drop on the S&P 500. That's a huge move and it really a rug pull if you're not prepared for that, right? So we're going to go over what the signals were that we went over in yesterday's video. Be sure to watch yesterday's video in case you missed it, but I'll break down what you need to be paying attention to and what a lot of the signals and warning signs were that we could potentially see volatility enter the chat, as I mentioned. And we'll break those down for you guys today and reiterate them. Okay, we'll go over the VIX and what the signal was. We'll go over the VVIX and we'll go over the SVIX. All right, so all the different VIXs. Now, we'll also give my thoughts and opinions on the S&P 500 here. And more importantly, I really want to look at small caps and talk a lot about small caps with you guys. Because I think there's some misconceptions, right? So it's going to be a really good video. You guys are going to enjoy it. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more. As always, though, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So be sure to read through the disclaimer. And if you're new to the channel, I started a completely free newsletter for you guys, Investment Intelligence, giving out free, valuable finance and trading content. There's a newsletter or there's a website associated with the newsletter. You can go back, check out some of the previous articles, previous newsletters. And there were some really great trade ideas in there. All right. Now, right now, you can get into the Discord, the Investment Intelligence Discord, for just $1. Okay. Using promo code May24 will get you into the Discord for $1 for your first month. Then after that, you have to pay the regular monthly fee. But I'm letting people get in for just $1 right now because, I've got a lot of new features. I'm doing some upgrades, revamping it. And I'm going to be launching a lot of new products that are going to be included for everyone who gets in now. So it's potentially hundreds of dollars that you're going to save by joining before the end of May. And you'll have access to all of the different features and packages. And then, you kind of get grandfathered into those. And then everyone else, they're going to have to pay for those things separately and pay for the Discord separately. Okay. So that's where you get access to all my analysis, different chart ideas, and many, many more resources. Now let's get into here. Okay. Now, the first thing you may notice on here are these vertical lines or, these white lines here. These are just times where we're spotting bullish divergence in the VIX. So we got the VIX on the bottom here, right? And you see this period here where we're in this downtrend, but the RSI here is in an uptrend. That's letting us know that we've got some bullish divergence in the VIX, and we could be expecting some type of pop, right? We see a little pop over here, a little pop over here, pop over here, pop over here. And when we have this bullish divergence, we know that we could get potential spikes in volatility. But overall, let's just call it 15. It's not the exact level, but 15. But, below 15 on the VIX, that's a bullish environment for stocks, okay? And that's where we're at. We're in that bullish zone. We're in bullish territory for stocks still. But these bullish divergences are something you want to pay attention to, right? And that's what we had. I was highlighting to everyone, hey, the VIX is really low right now, right? We have like a 12 VIX. Sub 12 VIX even potentially. And we're seeing this bullish divergence here. Hey, be prepared for a spike in volatility, which could cause, a pullback in the market. The VVIX, this is going to be the volatility of the volatility index. Now, it seems like we're doing a little bit of stock market inception here, but this gives you clues into what the VIX is going to do. Okay, so if VIX going up potentially means that the stock market could go down. All right. Well, then the VVIX going up means that the VIX could potentially start going up. And the VVIX bottomed out here before the VIX did, right? And it's been rising here now for a few days, signaling that, hey, we could see a spike in volatility in the market here very soon. Now, it's also got this little bit of a demand zone. And this is an area where we tend to see the VVIX bounce a lot. And we entered into that zone and we're starting to see the VVIX curl up before we saw, any type of, upswing up here in the VIX itself. We've also got the SVIX. Okay. So the SVIX, this is going to be the short VIX futures ETF. All right. And so what basically, if this is going up, it means that volatility is going down or people are betting on volatility to go down. And we spotted out yesterday that we had a really red candlestick. We had a bearish engulfer candlestick, which is a bearish candlestick pattern that oftentimes leads to further downside. And sure enough, we're seeing more further downside in the SVIX. Okay, and being that that's the short VIX, if the short VIX is going down, that means that long VIX is working. Okay, so we really had three signals, right? We had the bullish divergence forming here. We had the VVIX already rising, right? Bottomed out and already rising before the VIX itself. And then we had the SVIX with a bearish candlestick pattern with that bearish engulfing, and we identified all that yesterday to you guys for free on the YouTube channel. Now, when you look at the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, you know, I was really looking for just a couple things here, right? And when we were trading in between the zone here, 517.50 and 510, those were the key levels to me, right? Below there, we were bearish. You can see we broke down below there, had a strong move to the downside. We broke out back above there, and we've had new all-time highs being made here. And if we look at where this market bounced today, right, and right around where it closed, it's almost exactly at our previous all-time highs. Okay, so if we were to come in here and let's just draw some little arrows for you guys to make it nice and clear, right? All-time high, right? And look at where we bounced today, right? So really, we're getting almost a textbook, technical analysis version of, old resistance becomes new support. Now, we haven't got confirmation of that yet. Okay, we have seen a little bit of a bounce here, but if we flush through this within the coming trading days or weeks, then it's not going to be, old resistance becomes new support. Rather, this would be a little bit of a, false breakout rather on the upside, right? With this move here being a false breakout. But we are respecting the levels really just tremendously, right? And what I mean by that is if you take a look, we mentioned, 533 essentially was the next bullish price target, 532.97, once we were making new all-time highs. And look at where the market opened up today. We opened up right around that level there, and then we came all the way back down, back to our previous all-time high. So we made new all-time highs and then tested the previous all-time high all within the same day. Now, this is an outside candlestick. This is an outside bearish engulfing candlestick. And again, this can lead to further downside. The last time we saw an outside bearish engulfing candlestick was over here. And what did we get? Well, we got a little bit of a bounce afterwards, but we ended up selling off further to the downside. And that's a potential scenario that you guys want to be prepared for, right? We're not guaranteeing that that's going to happen. Not every single candlestick or chart pattern that is formed plays out perfectly, right? So that's what we've got to watch, right? Above 524.61, I'm going to be bullish, guys. And below there, I'm going to really take into consideration this chart pattern right here and say, all right, maybe this really has some legs to it. And if we start breaking down below those levels, you can look to enter some shorts with, a tight stop loss on those of a couple points. And look to potential capture and move back down to the 517.50 area, potentially even 510. Who knows, right? Now, the next thing that I really want to point out is, yes, we bounced right here, all right, and closed just above our previous all-time high after the breakout. Look where the RSI is at right here, right? We had bearish divergence where we were creating these higher highs, making lower highs on the RSI. And oftentimes these bearish divergence breakouts are very tradable, right? And this is where we broke out on the RSI. This is where we broke out. And then you see the next, little bit of trading days, we end up making new all-time highs here right around 533. If we start to see green trading on the next couple of trading days, this is going to curl up, right? And it's going to be a very clean breakout, retest, push higher, continuation higher, just like our previous all-time high level, right? If we start trading green here in the next couple of days, it's going to be very clean breakout, retest, and then push higher. So I think you really want to pay close attention to your RSI right now on the daily time frame and draw this bearish divergence trend line in. You can see how well it was respected, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times we rejected that level before breaking out, and now here we are for the retest. So that's going to be pretty important, right? If this flushes through, right, and it doesn't hold, and we start trading below her, that's going to be a false breakout on the upside. And then we would be looking at the MACD for a bearish crossover here, but as potential confirmation of this bearish engulfing candlestick pattern here for further moves back to the downside, right? Now, IWM, if you're a bear, I think that the small caps, are really where you want to be paying attention to. All right. Now, this scenario doesn't have to play out. All right. I have, a bullish scenario outlined, a bearish scenario outlined. I just want to show you guys the bearish scenario here that I posted for the Discord members a while ago, about a week or two ago. And it's a rising wedge, right? And oftentimes in rising wedges, you'll see these ABCDE setups On wave E, a common misconception is that, you always have to come back up and touch the top of the trend line or the bottom of a trend line with these wedge patterns. But it's very common for you not to see that actually, okay? And so wave E basically came right exactly where we had it drawn, and now we're seeing a large sell-off here over 1.64% in the IWM. This could very much turn into, right? If the bears are telling you and the bears are correct that we are about to see another correction in the market, IWM has the bearish setup here, right? And we've got a rising wedge forming. We have not broken through it, okay? What you would look for probably would be a move to break this trend line right around the 192, 193 area, find maybe some potential support within that area, and then a potential retest of that trend line, right? And then you would look for another move to the downside, potentially taking us to the 180 to 185 area, even all the way potentially back down to fill this gap here right around 170 on the IWM. That is your bear scenario. And that's one that I think you guys want to pay attention to if you're a bear. I'm not telling you to go balls deep in put options on the IWM right now, but rather, keep an open mind if you're a bull of some of the best potential bearish scenarios and how you can potentially capitalize off of them. And this is one that I'll be paying attention to. Now, if this is a leading diagonal, all right, which we're not going to overcomplicate things too much here, but if this is a leading diagonal, what you would end up seeing is a false breakdown and then a very strong move to the upside. Okay. So, when we get this initial flush, if we get this initial flush and break through this trend line, you really want to be cautious that the bounce here doesn't turn into a break and retest for continuation lower, but rather a leading diagonal with a move down, a little bit of a false breakdown, and then a very strong move to the upside. That's something you need to be cautious of. All right. Oftentimes in bull markets, you're going to see bearish setups fail. And that would be a really big bear trap if we were to, break through this wedge. Everyone will start posting it on social media. And then you see we actually rip to the upside and squeeze out all of those shorts. Now, this is what we're talking about here with the SPY, where, we break out and instead of retesting and pushing higher, we flush through here. So this is already giving me more bearish vibes on the IWM, right? Because we broke out of here and now we're flushing through. So it looks like an oops. Looks like an oops to me, like a little bit of an oopsie daisy and false breakout here. We've got the daily MACD about to cross over here as well. Okay. Look at what happened the last time we had the daily MACD crossing over here. Big sell-off. Not big, not huge, but we did see a strong pullback in the IWM. So you want to be cautious to that. You want to pay attention to that. And these are all of the things that I'm paying attention to right now in the market. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you're going to enjoy the content in the newsletter. Okay, so sign up for that using the link in the description below so you can get those directly to your email inbox, or you can just check out the website and review it. Sign up for the Discord while you can for just $1 in your first month. Promo code May24 will get you in, and you'll be grandfathered into all of the new features and packages that I'm going to be including in there. So join while you can. And if you ever do want to do a one-on-one session, I have a Ko-Fi page. There's a link in the description for that as well. Click on the commissions tab. And in there, you can book a 30-minute or 1-hour session directly. You can also click on the buy a coffee button, basically a way to leave a tip or donation for all the free valuable content I put out, such as these videos and the newsletters.